material costs that are listed here, I assume, are the costs that was applied to the specific snowstorm.
Gotcha.
But we do buy material in advance, so that's not shown on here. So,
No, because what we wanted to do was just simply show the cost that we've had to date,
Mhm.
the costs associated with each of the stuff.
so we could have actually have spent a lot more already.
But I
I
know
mean-
that as of last week, we were not in a deficit situation. We will certainly be in a deficit situation.
Yeah, I understand that. But there's some material in inventory at this point.
Exactly, and some of the material is left obviously from the prior year too.
I think part of the,
Questions, Mr. O'Leary?
every year we under budget, and that's for good reason, because the state requires us, not requires, if we raise the ceiling on our appropriation, we're stuck at that amount. You know, and I know that a couple of reps just proposed, having a $2 scratch ticket to, I don't know if you read about that, to help offset the costs of cities and towns' snow removal. I don't know if that's a good idea either, but I think what we need though is we do need some legislation, and we should talk to our state representative about it relating to the cap and how it's handled, because cities and towns should be able to build up reserves without any repercussions, financial repercussions for budgeting wisely. You know, in other words, we pay for it one way or the other. You know, we pay for it.
No,
at the
we
end of the-
pay for it all the time.
We pay for it all the time, right, we pay for it, but instead of appropriating it,
Pay
a
for the-
reasonable number.
We pay it for the following year, basically.
I know, but we paid $750,000 on a $175,000 appropriation, and we do that fairly consistently. You know, so why wouldn't we appropriate, $500,000 annually to cover the cost, and some years you're under, some years you're over, you're able to carry it forward. But instead, we have to worry about closing the deficit every year, and how are we going to end up doing that?
In recent time, have we ever had a snow budget less than $500,000?
I think not. You know, but if we
So, I
raise,
mean,
but if we
so if
raise
you
our
raise it to
ceiling,
that, it's,
but if we raise it to 500,000, we're stuck there. And we should be able to monitor our expenditures and give it our best guess without being penalized by the Department of Revenue. So I think we're going to take some sort of an act of legislature and work it out a little bit differently. But we're not the only ones, but every city and town grossly under budgets is required service because of this artificial threshold that the Department of Revenue has set. So I think it needs to be adjusted so that we can budget more realistically in this particular area. So I don't know if the $2 scratch ticket is going to solve our problem. Part of our budgetary problem, is again, has been trying to close this snow and ice deficit because we haven't appropriated more. We haven't allocated enough. We never put anything in the reserves as far as whether finance can transfer it in order to close the gap. We just don't do that. So we're artificially fooling ourselves in relation to having balanced budgets in this particular area.
well, I think it would be relatively low risk to increase the budget, even without the legislation, to some number higher than what we're budgeting,
That we could
with
do.
low risk, because I can't believe that you get through a year, I mean, maybe,
And even so, in our
Maybe the
costs,
one in a hundred
the
year
costs
you
that we're
might-
incurring continue to escalate there as well.
materials have gone up.
Material
Considerable.
costs have escalated substantially, particularly salt, fuel, and labor. So, and the other thing that's moderated a little bit is the public bidding and the contractors, outside contractors have moderated a little bit because of the competition, people busy. And who's openly fine, getting better bids.
Well, we're be discussing the budget very shortly.
Right, but so twofold. I think we should be taking a hard look at this particular line item in the budget. And secondly, I really think we should be addressing it with our state legislators to have the state take a more realistic approach in addressing the issue. thoughts are as far as that goes.
Back to script,
Back to script.
back to script is rule number one. Board members, as provided you with some of the information concerning the annual Mass Municipal Association meeting, which will be held in Boston on January 22nd and 23rd. Just as someone who regularly attends the meeting, I would encourage any board member who is interested to find out more about the programs, problems, opportunities, networking that exists for government officials. I've included a copy of the registration package, giving you an idea of some of the different programs that are being run, and a copy of the program registration form. If you are interested, fill out the form and return it back to my office. Karen will process it, get it paid, and get you signed up. Copies of the essence. Number two.
Anybody planning on going? I am planning on going. Anyone else?
Not right now, no.
Yeah, I would like to go, but will not be able to go, unfortunately.
Number two, some good news. I had talked about the bid solicitation that we did for the Swan Pond water tank, and we did receive bids on it. I have issued a bid award notice to Metro PCS, who will copy the bid award letter and the additional details involved. The proposal is judged to be most responsive to the town bid solicitation. The steps that need to be followed at this point is a special permit needs to be granted by the Community Planning Commission. And number two, the board needs to approve a 10-year lease, which is the final step with the vendor. The estimated revenues to the town over 10 years are $275,133, which is not an insignificant amount. And when you consider that we have three other cellular leases on water tanks, it does begin to put a little bit of a dent in terms of the town's ability to raise non-traditional tax revenue monies, sort of non-tax monies. It's a good source of revenue for us, you know, trying to say, good and reliable source of revenue for us. And it's beginning to have some fairly major impacts, because it seems like every time we put one of these things out, we're finding that there are vendors that want to pay us money to utilize it. So hopefully we can continue to have this. Number five, I've had some confusion concerning the dates, and bear with me if I did speak with the chairman about some of the dates that were here. As you know, this year's budget will be addressed at the annual town meeting, and hopefully we will address the budget in early June. I believe the date is June 7th. So working backwards from that date, I put together a calendar, put a copy of it in the packet, but I would suggest that the budget kickoff meeting with the police, fire, and DPW be on February 6th, at 8 a.m. And that would allow the budget books to be distributed with recommendations by February 1st. Typically, the budget kickoff session will take place this Saturday. Typically takes place on Saturday after New Year's. Basically what we're doing is we're delaying that process by about 30 days. And I do understand and respect the fact that the board wants to get this information in a timely manner and begin the deliberation process. So I would ask for consideration of the budget kickoff session on Saturday, February 6th.
And the small budget items would be handled in the following meeting, or meetings?
Yes, we would begin, February 6th would be the kickoff session, and so we would bring them back before the board over a period of several meetings.
I am much more comfortable with that schedule.
25th and 26th.
Saturday, 6 at 8 a.m.
Books on the 1st.
Books on the 1st. And typically for planning purposes,
At 8 a.m. And we're gonna do police first, right?
DPW, police and fire.
right,
But we're gonna do the police department for us this year?
Why, is he bringing scones?
No, but Dave isn't either.
Dave isn't here.
Well, yeah, I think we have to put it out to bid.
How you talking, Steve?
We definitely have been spoiled to a certain degree, and I have no intention of giving that perk up. You know, so I would say
What if nobody bids on it?
if nobody bids on it, then,
I think
It's all yours, Mr. O'Leary.
then we start at 6 a.m., tell them.
So we try to break sometime between, say, 12:30 and 1.
Yeah, are they, is each department head going to be giving a time limit in terms of the presentation?
Absolutely, we'll be given time limit and a script, because I think it's important for them to address budgetary issues versus giving a recap or history of the department's accomplishments.
And we'll hold to it.
Yes, please.
Consideration given to questions from the board, but I think the time limit should be
Greg,
followed.
what I would like to see is that we've established roughly what we have for revenues to spend in this coming year's budget as of yesterday or whatever. I would like to have the department heads be able to speak toward that balanced budget and what impact it has on services, or what they can do, what changes they might make to live within that budget, because clearly the budget is tight.
We certainly need the input in relation to prioritizing. Which cuts are going to have to be made. Good, honest input is needed. And again, in years past, we get a lot of doom and gloom pictures painted on it when we look at it department by department.
What I'd
Basis,
like,
right?
I guess what I'm
Okay,
getting
so
at is,
let's-
I'd like to see
what do we-
the
what do we-
department head say, I've got this amount of money.
But are we giving
How am
them-
I gonna make it work, and, you know, what are the risks I'm taking, what are the changes I'm gonna make, or what has to be cut as a result of it?
Just
To give us a better feel for,
But are we giving the department heads any indication as to what numbers they're going to be looking at for the upcoming year? Are we giving them any parameters from a fiscal standpoint?
I think the town administrator has to do that, of course.
Okay, I guess that's what I'm asking then, is we've got the scenarios, if we get this, we have that, we have X number of dollars.
Well, I mean, let's talk about the overall philosophy. I mean, last year, we basically went in and said, after, we need a 3% cut over the previous year. And then we obviously had issues with some of that because we made some changes, as you recall. I'm not sure, I mean, maybe that's a starting point, right? I'm not saying 3%, but whatever makes the dollars that we have, right? But I think we need to understand the implications of it, or what department heads are gonna do to make it work within that, so we can make the appropriate decisions. I mean, if there's a service that can't be maintained as a result of a 3%, I'm using it as an example, 3% cut in the budget, we may not, like we did last year, may not agree with it. And therefore, I'd like to see some initiative on the part of the department heads to come in prepared and to take some initiative saying, this is probably gonna be the tightest year. Hopefully we'll come out of it. And that we should be identifying, they should be identifying, what steps they're gonna take to help move this thing along. The object is maintain services, but it may not be possible. But maybe they have some ideas as to changes they can make to make this happen. I think, they're the